Okay, so I'm going to show you how I did the stool using the rotate command. First thing I did was drag a cylinder out into space, and then I grabbed one of these white corners to make it skinnier. And I tried to make it true cylinder, so the two dimensions you're looking at, try to make them the same. So 3 by 3 maybe. Um, so I wasn't able to get it totally uh, symmetrical. So I'm going to drag one out a tiny bit so it's the same. So I think now they're both 4. So then I made it kind of skinny. So I clicked on it and I dragged the white dot at the top. Whoa, undo that. Clicked on it and dragged the white dot to make it tall and skinny. Zoom out a little bit. Alright, so at this point I've got the leg of my stool, but I need to rotate it. And there's the X, Y, and Z axis. I'm actually going to rotate it twice. So to get a better view of this, I'm going to click on my navigation cube in the upper left-hand corner on the word back. This is the back view. If you want to spin it so it's a front view, this is the same thing for this object. I'm going to click on the object, and notice at the top I've got that little curvy double arrow. All right. So I'm actually going to grab that curvy double arrow, and it allows me to rotate it a little bit. I'm just going to do, I don't know, 11 degrees, because for me that looks about right. Now I'm going to rotate it down, but to get the view totally correct, again I'm going to use my navigation cube. So I click on the top. It looks like it's already been angled in 2 different directions. Let's check that though. Let's look from the front, and then I'm going to click on the side of that navigation cube and see if it's still tilted. If it's still tilted, I know it's leaning in 2 different directions. It's not. That was just a trick. So I'm actually going to rotate it from this direction a little bit so it's leaning in 2 different directions. So I'll click on it. I get the curvy double arrow. It was 11 degrees. And now, at this point, it's leaning in 2 different directions. So you can't really, get a full appreciation for that until you throw another object in there. So we'll see that in a second, but it's definitely leaning in 2 different directions. Now, to save me some time, I actually copied and pasted the object, and I haven't taught you how to do that. So if you click on the object, and then you click on this little symbol next to the trash can, I believe that's the copy function. So if you click on it, and then you click on it again, and click on it again, I believe I just made 3 copies of the object, but they're all stacked on top of one another. So what I'm going to do now is click away, and then I'm going to put my finger on what looks like one object and drag, and you'll see that there's actually 4. Cancel. So go back to the main object. Go back to the main object. Good. If I try to do it a 5th time, I end up dragging the original object. So at this point, I've got 4 objects. Now, I'm trying to make a circle. I want them to be aligned, all these leaning to the center. Right now, they're leaning to the side. The top view will help me rotate them so they're all leaning towards the inside of the chair. So I'm going to do the top view, and for guidance, I'm actually going to bring out a circle. All right, let's see, is there a circle? Or a sphere? I could bring out any of these things. Doesn't really matter. Let's bring out the tube for guidance, and I'm going to make that tube a little bit bigger. Let's make sure it stays a circle though. So I'm going to drag this until it says, say 40, 45 looks good. Then I'll drag the black dot in this direction until it says 45. I'm not seeing the numbers, so I'm going to use 2 fingers to pan up. Drag it again, 44, 45. So I've got a circle, and I don't really want this object to be there. I'm going to grab the white dot at the top and shrink it down so it's really thin, 0.01. I might even change the color. It's just guiding me to help create my chair. So I'm going to go to top view, and I'm going to drag the sticks to different parts of the circle. So I'm going to drag them to 4 different parts of the circle. You know what? Let's just go north, south, east, west to try to keep our spacing the same. So I'm only focused on the part that touches the green. There you go. And again, I'm not looking for perfection, but at this point I'm going to rotate them all so they face the center of the stool. So if I click on the one on the top, and I've got the little rotation arrow for this axis, for this view, it's probably the z-axis, and I'm going to rotate it so it's facing in. Now as you can see, it's not quite at the top, so I'm going to click away and drag it so it's on the top, and then I might even click it one more time and rotate it back. It's not a perfect thing. Click on the left, rotate it so it's facing in. Okay, and then I'm going to click away, then I'm going to drag it, and then I'm going to click one more time and rotate it as best I can. Okay, click on the orange one on the right, I'm going to rotate it so it's facing in, click away, drag it into place, maybe drag it just a tiny bit more, and then finally the one on the bottom, let's rotate it. This one is not on the green circle at all, so I'm going to click away and then drag it, click one more time, rotate it. Alright, I'm going to use my views, different views to see how it looks. Looks okay. Let's rotate around. Again, not looking for perfection. Alright, and now I'm going to say they're coming together a little too much. So, whoops. Well, that's okay. Let's not worry about being perfect. Let's go ahead and grab a flat cylinder, and let's put another cylinder down, which will be, be nice. I'm gonna try to look from the top and center it. Whoops. I'm gonna try to center that cylinder on my drawing. I'm gonna make it, was it 45 by 45? 45 by 45, and drag it into place. That looks a lot bigger than the other one. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it's just because it's gone up. If I go drag it back down, it looks about right. I'm actually going to go up to the top, and then from the bottom, I'm gonna drag the bottom part up. There we go. And the objects right now, if you zoom, they're not quite connected. If we want to, first of all, I need them to overlap a little bit, so I might rotate, drag it down a tiny bit more. I can see the pieces disappear. If I want to make them all one object, I would click on all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see shapes parentheses 5, showing that all 5 have been selected. And then I can use the grouping symbol just above the number 5 in parentheses, and that groups all of them into one object. And now if I change the color, they all change. So I've got a nice green chair, but who has a green chair? Nobody. So let's change it back to a nice dark brown. That's too dark. Maybe a light brown. There you go, nice wooden chair. And if I don't like this green circle anymore, I can delete it. And there you go. All right, so there's my little tutorial on how to stretch and rotate, and is maybe a lot for somebody on day one. So instead of maybe working on 4 legs, maybe just work on 2 legs, just two things that are leaning towards each other. Try as best you can to make it look good. All right, good luck. Have some fun with it. I'll be posting some student examples that were pretty awesome. All right, talk to you guys soon.